Welcome to Technology and Education Today. I'm Richard Smith.
And I'm Caroline Crawford.
And today we're discussing a unique program being offered by the University of Texas, El Paso, and designed to reach students who might not normally be able to attend college.
I've always been intrigued by UTEP, University of Texas El Paso,
Right.
UTEP. They always do really interesting things. I'm never quite sure what's going to come next because it's rather innovative, whatever they're doing.
It's innovative and it's growing, and this is a special program that I just read about, and they have become partners with Pearson, and Pearson is helping them to produce...
Well, explain who Pearson is.
Pearson
It's a publishing company.
A big publishing company.
Yeah. A lot of your textbooks come out of Pearson.
Textbooks, tests, all sorts
Yes.
of things come out of Pearson. They make a lot of money doing that too. But in any event,
It's an intriguing alliance.
yes, in this alliance, they will be creating, UTEP, University of Texas El Paso, and Pearson will be creating courses that are going to be offered online and which are targeted at both undergraduate and graduate students. And I think
As well as licensure, is my understanding. Different certificates as well.
certification, right. These would be students who are underserved students. So University of Texas El Paso gets a large amount of students, of course, on campus, but then there are others who are unable to attend for a variety of reasons: transportation costs, campus housing costs, room and board, and they will now be able to take these courses online.
Well, especially the non-traditional student who may have been traditional at one point but had to stop out or drop out because somebody has to pay the bills after all, and having a family or having different responsibilities in life, not everyone is able to complete. So this is a great opportunity for people who do want to come back but don't have the time, effort, nor perhaps inclination, they're exhausted by the end of the day, to go to campus and work. So this is a great opportunity for them.
And the other group is the traditional group that's targeted by online education, and these are people seeking master's degrees. So people who work full-time, and we've had a lot of experience with that.
In our own fields, right, absolutely.
And so people want to get master's degrees, but they are working, they have families, and they cannot go to campus full-time several hours a week. So they...
Well, and we live in the Houston region, so it takes an hour, hour and a half, especially during rush hour, to make it to anywhere in the Houston area.
Right, so
online is a beautiful thing.
Right, so for a 3-hour class, you may wind up traveling an hour and a half to get to the campus, or more possibly. So that's their second group. But I think what's interesting here is the partnership with Pearson, because as you know and I know, to put together an online course is not an easy thing.
No,
and
it's not.
If you have had no training in it as a professor, what usually comes out is pretty difficult to understand and somewhat confusing. And if your university has an instructional design department to help that professor, what happens is you may have anywhere from 5 to 10 instructional designers available, depending on the size of the university. It might even be 30. But if you have a faculty of 200-300 or more, there's only so much time that can be devoted for the development of each course.
And it's a different animal. Online versus face-to-face are very different environments in which to instruct. So it's not only difficult to learn how to instruct within or facilitate those environments, but developing the instructional environment is very difficult as well. Meaning, in an online course, everything's already laid out. You set everything up beforehand. In a face-to-face class, you're consistently obtaining feedback from your learners, and you can shift at will in order to meet the needs of learners. You have to understand your learners quite significantly in an online environment before you even begin designing, so as to meet the needs of your learners.
Right, and as you say, the key there is that the course cannot change. It has to remain static in most cases.
It can change, but it's not a good idea.
Well, if the professor is not really experienced with what we call the course management system, making changes can be perilous and should be done at your own risk. But
That's
changes.
a nice way to put it.
Changes. You can make changes through the professor can make changes through the discussion and announcements, and
changing links that may have been viable at the beginning of the course, but now all of a sudden, poof, gone.
But the core of the course cannot change in the way that you noticed, in the way that you said when you are in
In
a
a face-to-face
face-to-face
environment.
course.
You know, we haven't quite met our expectations this week. We'll just roll it over to next week. That's not the way life works in the online
Or
world.
there's been a new discovery in the field, and we need to discuss that now. But now what's interesting is with Pearson, while I don't have all the details, since Pearson is a publishing house, what I suspect is that they're going to take their textbooks, given if you have a course in, let's say, world history, they'll have a textbook in world history, and use that textbook as the core of the online course. And they can do that now because the textbooks from a variety of publishers, including Pearson, have become very sophisticated with interactive links,
Absolutely.
videos, tests built into the textbook. It can carry a significant amount of the course.
But looking at it from my perspective,
Mhm.
I pull in textbooks that are important within my field, and they may or may not be published by Pearson. So
So the question is, will Pearson allow other textbook publishers?
exactly what is that agreement? Because Pearson doesn't offer a lot of textbooks that are vital to my courses.
We don't know, and it would be interesting to find out as the UTEP implementation continues. But that's a very good point.
Well, another interesting question is, so UTEP is collaborating with Pearson to design and develop these courses, suggesting that UTEP, the entity, is charged with creating these online courses, whereas the faculty are usually integrally involved in creating the online courses as subject matter experts and many times as strong instructional designers themselves. So looking at this collaboration between Pearson and UTEP, who actually owns the content of these courses at the end of the day? Because with academic freedom, one might suggest that it should be the faculty. On the other hand, at universities, as soon as that information is published within a learning management system or on any of the university servers, there is the argument, whether one agrees with it or not, that once it's published on the university server, it's owned by the university.
Yeah, that's a great point. And what's even more interesting is if you're using a textbook really as the core of your course, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but the textbook publisher is working with you to develop this course, who really has developed the course? Is it the professor who has developed the course, or is it the publisher that's developed the course? In other words, from where does the majority of the material come? Is it from the professor, or is it text reliant? And with this type of partnership, I think that remains open and to be seen. We should make a field trip to University of Texas, El Paso.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Fine, we'll bring the entire mobile studio with us. Well, these have been some interesting questions.
I'm really intrigued to find out exactly how everything works out. I wonder if UTEP and Pearson have thought many of these concerns through, and if the UTEP faculty have thought a lot of these concerns through as well.
Well, had they checked with us beforehand, they would have. Well, that's about it for our time today. You've been watching Technology and Education Today. For Technology and Education Today, I'm Richard Smith.
And I'm Caroline Crawford. Bye.